Do you want it to sound like a proper scary story?
Absolutely.
Because, guys, bear with me. It's the first time in my life I participate in anything related to Halloween, honestly. So bear with me. In a galaxy far, far away, there was once a lady.
Hey everybody, welcome to a very special episode of the Superposition game show. The only game show on the internet where we bring nerds of all types together to play fun games with me and tell us all about their careers. Thank you guys for coming on the show. I'm really excited to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and as you can tell, we have a very exciting episode today, a very special episode, because today we're going to be doing a Halloween episode. So everybody's in costume today. You guys look amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So the way that we start the show usually is we'd like to do some intros from each of you. So the way we'll start things actually is just I'll introduce myself to begin with. My name is David Cohen for everybody. I am the founder of Superposition, a consulting firm where I help other consulting firms think through challenges of both growing and scaling, as well as serving their own clients through collaborative workshops like the ones that you see today. So I primarily support consultancies in the data space and in the AI space. And the work that you're going to see today is very similar to the work I do with my clients typically. So I'm excited to show you some of the work that I do through the amazing experience these guys are about to go through. Like I said, what we'll do to start is we'd love an introduction from each of you, and then we'll start the games themselves. So we'll go one by one, and obviously would like you to introduce yourself as well as what your costume is. And then the tradition on the show is how we talk about your secret talents. And I forgot to introduce my costume as well. I am Wario. So today's episode obviously will be about the everybody's careers and everything, but we'll also talk about the costumes and kind of bring that into the show. So Mackenzie, we'll start with you. So please introduce yourself, please introduce your costume, and we'll go from there.
Amazing. Thank you, David. Thank you so much for having us. This is so fun. I love this format. I'm excited to get into the games. So quick intro. So I am a content strategist. I help impactful brands build and execute their content strategy. But I also run and a founder of a co-working community called Co-working Cuties, where I help aspiring thought leaders show up online in a gentle and cozy space. So it's really fun. We keep it really soft, really gentle, and of course, very cozy. I'm all about cozy vibes, although today my costume is like opposite of cozy, but that was what I was going for because I love this idea of like alter ego. So yeah, we're going for like the devil because like I'm not like that in real life. Although I think these are like Maleficent, I'm not sure, but that's just like what they had in the costume store here in Budapest. So I was like, it's fine, we're just going with that. And my secret talent is I unintentionally, this is not like something that I do intentionally, I collect dachshunds. I also have a dachshund, so it's like, it's a thing. It's gotten out of control. So like so far, just on this trip that I've been on, I've gotten like this like little stretchy guy that like stretches. Oh. I've also collected like socks. And I also got these like pajamas that have my dog's face on them. Like this is just for the trip. So yeah, that's him.
Can you put the shirt closer to the camera just so we can see?
That's him, Toby.
I love it, Toby.
I love it.
So yeah, this is added to my collection, but I've got mugs. I've got absolutely everything with dachshunds on them. So lots of sausage dogs around.
But from the looks, so Toby's not a dachshund, right?
He is, yeah, but he's like a very specialized dachshund. He's a wire-haired dachshund. So yeah, it's like it's very strange, but it's really cute. I love them. So yeah, it's unintentional, but I don't mind.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Next up, we have Guillaume. So Guillaume, do you mind introducing yourself and your costume as well?
My name is Guillaume Jovencel. I'm a podcaster and the co-founder of a B2B podcast agency. So we help B2B businesses build the brand and generate leads with a podcast. For the costume, it is pretty obvious, but I'm a chef. For the little story, I wanted to dress up as Napoleon. Thanks God, so I'm in America right now, in the United States, in Houston, and you have Halloween stores open until 10 p.m. Unfortunately, they didn't have Napoleon costumes. So I went for the second best option, which is a chef, because, you know, French culture, good food, I love to cook, which is also my secret talent. So I went for a chef costume.
So what's your favorite thing to make?
So there is a lot actually. The thing that I love to make is actually something that is not even French. It's tortilla de patata, which is a Spanish omelette with potatoes. I love to cook Italian as well, which is still not French, I'm realizing. So yeah, bolognese, lasagnas, carbonara, the real one with guanciale. I love to do this kind of stuff. As you can hear, very healthy dishes.
If you're a regular watcher of the show, you will recognize that is the second reference to tortilla de patatas on the show, actually. A previous guest of the show referenced that same dish like 3 episodes ago. So, it's maybe that's the official dish of the show.
I'm not the first one to mention tortilla de patata on the show. Jeez.
No,
okay,
fair
enough.
That's funny. So have you tried cooking here in the US yet? How are you liking the differences between cooking there and cooking here?
So I did actually in Miami. So in Houston, I haven't. The food is amazing in Houston. So I eat out most of the time. In Miami, I tried to cook a bit. It's funny, like the stores, everything is much, much bigger. I haven't found yet a good place to buy vegetables, some that taste something, But yeah, I like it. It's so funny. When I cooked in Miami, in the apartment I was renting, like the pans, everything is so much bigger. And I was like, okay, I need to cook more in larger quantities, which allowed me to cook for a whole week. But yeah, no, the experience is funny. It's interesting, and to find the right ingredients is the challenge for me right now. But I'm sure it's just a matter of getting used to it.
Yeah, we'll have to talk and give you some recommendations for grocery stores to go
Please.
to. So I'm actually from the Houston area, so I'm excited that you're there. And then obviously we'll give you some tips on places to go to for groceries.
Would love that.
Perfect. All right. So last but certainly not least, Dimitri, let's talk about your secret talent and your costume, please.
Okay, so, well, first of all, Dave, thanks for having us, obviously. My name is obviously also Dmitry. I start to always to pitch myself that I have more than 15 years of experience in marketing, but it's getting pretty scary lately because it's closer to 20 years or maybe even a little bit more. But long story short, it's been more than 15 years that I've been writing, and I've been loving writing my whole life. Currently, I'm busy with 2 very different things. The first thing is, together with my friends and co-founders in Game Analyze, we are building a well-being application that screens kids for vulnerable conditions through a very simple game. This is what we're doing. And the second one is obviously still writing. And when it comes to the costume, you might as well think why I'm not wearing a costume, but writing was what made me think of what to wear today. It was obviously LinkedIn. And the only thing that I would add to my image are the glasses.
Ooh. I love it.
Yeah, me too. And bear with me, I think I'll take them off soon, but anyway. Speaking about the secret talent, I wrote that I always remember the face, but I never remember the name. That's absolutely correct. There's a story to go with it. We are screening kids in Game Analyze for vulnerable conditions, including ADHD. And obviously I do have ADHD myself. I've had it my whole life. I think since I was 5 when I first thought about it. But several years ago, about 5,000 kilometers away from home, I was traveling on a train. I'm taking it off, guys, sorry. I was traveling on a train and I saw a guy in his 40s with gray hair, lots of wrinkles on his face, and I immediately recognized him. I didn't remember his name, but I did remember that we used to play football when we were in our teens. So I took a place next to him, said, "Hey buddy, how are you doing?" He was like, who the hell are you? And I was in my teens, you can imagine. I didn't have any beard at all. And I used to have long hair, so obviously he didn't recognize me. But this is exactly the way it works. Don't mind me if I call you by your names every single minute today, guys. Because other than that, I will always remember the face, but I will never remember the name.
That's insane. So actually, speaking of references to previous episodes of the show, also a previous guest of the show, one of the secret talents that they talked about is that they have something called aphantasia, if you guys know what that is.
Oh, I have
So,
no idea what
Not
that is.
sure.
it's basically he explained that it's the inability of your brain to form mental images in its head or in your head. So basically, you are not able to imagine things and like visualize things, which I think is like the complete opposite of what Dimitri's describing, where he can literally like imagine everything. Which is, it's funny. Like, yeah, you guys keep like referencing previous episodes of the show, which I think is going to be good for regular listeners or watchers of the show as well. Amazing.
Definitely.
Okay, so thank you all for coming. So really excited to get the game started, because all these folks have a lot to say about their respective careers, obviously, and they both are, or all are, regular content creators on LinkedIn. So I'm really excited to have you all on the show. Like I said, are you guys ready to play the show?
Fired up.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so let's do the first episode or first segment of the show here. The first game is called Draw Your Career. So as you guys know, and I explained in the pre-show, I suppose, the first game is essentially Pictionary. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna ask you, or set a timer here in a second for 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna ask you guys to draw what the trajectory of your career is, what you do today. Basically, draw a picture to explain what you do. What I didn't explain to you all beforehand, and I made an allusion to this, but I'll kind of say it explicitly now, is that there's going to be a twist to every single game that we've been doing. So the twist for this game is that instead of drawing normally, I want you to be drawing with your non-dominant hand for this one. So essentially, if you're right-handed, you're going to be drawing with your left hand, and if you're left-handed, with your right hand. Does that make sense?
It does.
So what we're
It
going to do
doesn't,
is
but sure.
we're gonna do 3 minutes of drawing, and then I'm gonna ask you each to explain your drawings. After which I will give you points for how good your drawing is and how good your story is around the drawing. So obviously you're competing against each other as we're going along. The point system is entirely made up, and I decide who gets the most points, and I can take away points as well. So obviously the scoring system is entirely like arbitrary and makes no sense, and you'll find out very quickly. But does the kind of instructions for the first episode, or first game make sense? And are you ready to play?
Yes.
Of
Ready
course.
to rock and roll.
Let's do it.
Perfect. So I'm gonna set a timer here for 3 minutes, like we said. Give me 1 second. All right. So in
This
3,
is gonna be a
2,
bloodbath.
1, go ahead and start drawing on your boards. You have 3 minutes. I'll sit here like this so people can see my Wario hands. And remember, you're supposed to be drawing with your non-dominant hand. So if you're left-handed, draw with your right hand. And if you're right-handed, draw with your left hand. So as I mentioned, when the show actually comes out, there will be music playing here as well.
That's for the better, because we're doing our best. And,
Way
Not-
too focused.
Very focused.
You guys are weirdly good at this. Usually people really struggle with this.
I feel so slow.
Talking about secret talents, right? Why do I have to make him so detailed?
Yeah, like you guys are way better at this particular game than the average contestant, which is funny.
You just wait for the next games, mate.
Yeah. And I feel so focused right now.
All right, so you have about 1.5 minutes left, so you still have plenty of time. So remember, you can also add color, you can add anything you want onto the
Oh.
board. And also, one thing I didn't mention is you don't have to just write on your board. So if you want to write on one of the other contestants' boards, you can too. So that's completely allowed.
Oh.
Sabotage is encouraged and allowed on the show.
Wait, now I'm getting even more confused.
I'm really curious about your chicken leg, Guillaume.
Oh, thanks God you recognized it was a chicken leg. I was like,
figured.
nobody's gonna be able to know what
I thought it was
is.
a microphone. I was like, what is that?
Fair enough. It's like it's either a chicken leg or a microphone. So
Oh, but you're right, it's a chicken leg.
Okay, you guys have about 40 seconds, so you want to start putting your final touches into the show or into the drawing.
That was fun.
That's actually a really incredible drawing.
Thank you. See, my friends are helping me.
Do you draw normally, Dimitri?
Nah.
Here we go.
No.
Oh, shoot. Okay, never mind.
All right, pens down. Awesome. So here's what we'll do. What I want you guys to do here is we'll go one by one. We'll start at the top of the board, and like I mentioned, I want you each to explain the story of obviously the drawing, but I want you to tell us what the story is behind what your career is and how it kind of comes together in this picture form. So Mackenzie, we'll start with you. Walk us through your drawing.
Yeah, so my drawing is a collective thing. So that's supposedly me in the middle, and I'm like holding hands with everybody because I've always like really enjoyed cheering each other on. Like anytime I've had any work, like any job like in corporate or whatever, like they always tell me I'm like the cheerleader. So this is me like cheering everybody on always everywhere. But then we're holding it's a phone. I was like, I don't know, something like an app, but that's a heart app. And then we're like doing selfies or creating content. And so that's me like cheering everybody on to like make more content and be positive and happy about it. And yeah, it's just a collective thing like, oh yay, we're improving our lives and doing selfies at the same time.
So what is it? It says, I'm guessing it says heart and then LinkedIn, I'm guessing. Is that what that is?
Yeah. Those ones were not there originally, so those were added. But yes, like on LinkedIn specifically, that's the vibe at the moment.
So how did you, since you're like all about content, how did you get started on posting on LinkedIn specifically, and why was that your choice of like all content platforms, I'm guessing?
Yeah, so I've been creating content since forever, since I was, I think, 17. Like I still have my old YouTube channel up with all the very cringy videos of me like trying to like do skits and stuff like that. So I've
Nice.
always like really loved content in general, and I actually have like I've done YouTube as well, like again, and then I've also done like TikTok and also Instagram. But this year, I really fell in love with LinkedIn. I feel like it's an amazing platform to meet people, and also love writing too. So just kind of all came together in this kind of like amazing, I wanted to say like love story with LinkedIn, but it's not really love story. It's just kind of all just laid out in front of me. And then it was like perfect. And then I started going all in, and it's been amazing. So yeah, I really love helping other people with that too. And I'm always like recruiting, like come to LinkedIn. Like it's like, it's the best part of the internet. So yeah.
Perfect. Well, I mean, as you can tell, this will be on there. So yeah, it's working out great.
Exactly.
Awesome. So I think that's going to be worth like 200 points because that was a very cheery message.
Oh, okay. 200. Okay.
We don't know the skills yet. Maybe we're gonna
So
get
don't worry.
2,000.
Remember, I
Dimitri.
can take away points, so don't get too comfortable with the point system. All right, Dimitri, let's talk about yours.
It's not gonna be a very long story because, well, any marketing specialist anyone who's ever done marketing, at least for a couple of years, can relate, I think. Because you know what? You never know. That's why I wanted to paint a picture of a human being. I don't know why you don't have to give them a mustache, but anyway, it's a human being just screaming like that. Ah! Because you never know what comes tomorrow, let alone what comes in a week if you're a marketing specialist. Because with all these algorithms changes, with all those, I don't know, new clients, etc., it can go to trash in a couple of minutes. That's it. And then again, someone drew a wonderful wow next to the mouth. So there are, for sure, those tiny moments when you are impressed with what you're putting out and you're like, whoa. That's the way a proper marketing career can go. That's it.
Amazing, and I appreciate you playing into the stuff that you did not draw on the board. I feel like that deserves some extra points. So how do you deal with the like kind of that moment of like figuring it out as you go?
Mate, I just told you, I'm so ADHD. I don't care. That's my
I
life.
don't.
That's the way I live. That's the way I read. That's the way I sleep. That's the way I work. That's the way I everything on a daily basis for years and years. So I'm fine with that. That's what I absolutely love about marketing and obviously about writing as well.
Yeah, one thing, and again, you guys keep doing callbacks to previous episodes, so I guess this is the callback episode too. So, because I work in the workshop space and I build workshops for the work that I do. In a previous episode, I had a lot of a set of workshop facilitators that joined, and we're talking about how a large part of doing settings like this is kind of playing or going with the flow. So being improvisationally adept, so like you can kind of play with whatever happens and make it work in the sense of kind of going with what the audience tells you or the people participating tell you. So I really relate to that, right? Like, and kind of just staying, kind of going with what happens and then figuring it out as you go.
Correct, correct. That's the way it is. It's my Tuesday, mate.
Perfect. I love it. All right, Guillaume, you're up next. Let's talk about your chicken life.
Yes. So I thought it was about the entire career,
Yeah.
which is a bit messy for me. So I started actually, I was supposed to do, so there is something in France called apprenticeship. So you can study and work at the same time and your work is paying for your school, whatever. So my very first job was that, right after, how do we call this in English? Right after high school.
Mhm.
And I was working for a poultry wholesaler. And I was supposed to be the sales guy, but I was so bad at communication and behaving with people that they just kept me in the cold room for 2 years preparing the huge cardboard boxes of chicken. And somebody drew a heart. I wouldn't say I particularly loved this period, but it was it was a very good way to train myself on what the corporate world looks like and what I didn't want to do. Then I drew a banknote because I started working at the bank, Crédit Agricole, for those who know, in France, as a credit analyst. And then I was just an advisor, same thing, still in apprenticeship. So that was during the master, which allowed me to do a graduate program in a corporate bank in Belgium, where I learned Dutch, actually. Mitra, I don't know if you learned Dutch in the Netherlands yet. That was very cool. And that allowed me to go to a company called PwC in the treasury department. I had no clue how to draw that, so I just wrote T-bill because I quickly Googled treasury bills before starting drawing, and it's impossible to draw with my left hand. All this, whilst I was at PwC, I started a podcast, which is my last item, with another heart drew by somebody, which here makes a lot of sense because I absolutely love podcasting. I was listening to a gentleman called Chris Williamson with the podcast Modern Wisdom. He inspired my best friend and I to start a podcast around corporate treasury, what I was doing at PwC. It exploded. The podcast is still running, and we started our agency, and this is how we arrived to podcast. So as you can see, none of this makes sense, which is what I love. So hence the heart on the page I see. And the last big whatever strike that we can see on the screen is me not being able to manage my left hand when I use my mouse.
Perfect. And I'm curious. I'm also a alum and former worker at a like very large professional services firm.
Nice.
So I'm curious how that transition going from working in that space, which is very particular and has a lot of like, quirks, to working in a company that big, especially in the like consulting and accounting space and just general, like I
Yes.
said, professional services. So I'm curious how that transition has been since you've been out on your own, and both like focusing on the content piece, going from a very, I guess, let's call it traditional kind of role to
Yeah.
doing the sort of stuff you're doing now.
So I'd be curious to hear your story, actually, David, around this. The way I see it is, I loved it. Honestly, if it wasn't for the podcast and the podcast agency, I think I would have stayed a consultant. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved it. The issue, let's say, that I was facing at my former employer is that I don't know how it was at Accenture, but at least at PwC, it's pyramidal, right? It's like you start as a junior, you get promoted to senior if you're good, then manager. But like, there is no fast track. There is no particular thing that goes to people who want to, eat the world. And the podcast worked really, really well in that space, which unlocked a lot of things for me and my team. But it wasn't going fast enough for me, which is why I was also very tempted by entrepreneurship, because it was like, it's much more risky, but then the reward is higher in case. I mean, you eat what you kill, basically, as an entrepreneur, I think. Whereas when you're part of a big corporation, part of a big corporation. Obviously, you have to share, which is normal, right? That's how it's structured. So that's what I like about it. The thing that I wasn't prepared for, though, is how working in a company like PwC makes you socialize with like-minded people. Obviously, the hiring process is very tough, and you're with very high-performing people. It's enjoyable to work with such people. They make sure that you want to stay in, because consulting is very hard, as everybody knows. And they organize a lot of stuff. So at the end of the day, it's very social. When you get into entrepreneurship, you're by yourself. And that was something that I didn't anticipate, which was tough at the beginning. But then, of course, you build your team, you meet clients. This is also one of the reasons why I'm in the US. So yeah, that's what I would say. Much higher rewards. Socially, it's better to be in a big corporation, at least for someone like me. That's how I lived the transition. That was a very long-winded answer to answer a very simple question.
No, and I appreciate the answer. And so Mackenzie and Dimitri, so you guys know as well, my background is actually in professional consulting my entire career. So I've been a consultant at big firms doing data work and doing later on also AI work, primarily from a strategy perspective, sort of in the same environment that Guillaume is describing. So for me, Guillaume, to answer your question, the biggest piece of it was that I also always really enjoyed doing consulting work. Like it's always been, that's why I've done it in my whole career, is that I really enjoy both the work itself, but also the people. Like you said, I think one of the things I really enjoyed about also being at a firm that big is like Guillaume was explaining, the people that you run into and that you work with are legitimately top of their field in many ways. And then some of the smartest people you'll ever work end up working at consulting firms. There's a reason that when people do MBA programs and such, like post-grad programs, they end up transitioning into that. Is that field has probably many of the best people in your particular field doing very interesting work. But in many ways, for me, same to you, Guillaume, I wanted to take risks, and I wanted to obviously have a little bit more of a control over what I could do and how I went about it. So as you can tell, via the costume, I would not be able to do this under Accenture's banner, for instance. I don't think they're going to want me to wear Wario costumes for content that we're putting out. But when I started my company, I realized that I wanted to help other consultants be more effective at their job. So people in my space, I obviously enjoy the profession quite a bit. So that's why my clientele is primarily other consultants, is because I want us to be more effective while having fun, while having, being able to be engaging in what we do. Consulting as an industry is very, very stale, kind of boring in how we present ourselves, which is why Superposition's content is like this, right? Versus, just your normal consulting kind of arrangement, which is the equivalent of this would be like a boring podcast instead. So no offense to podcast, Guillaume, I'm sorry.
Right into the fields.
But in any case, that's the answer, right? Is that I wanted to be able to take risks and wear Wario costumes on the internet versus just like do my work in the old way.
Love it.
Awesome. So I realize now that I forgot to give Dimitri scores. So I feel like I have to give you extra points because the fact that you drew this with your left hand is like driving me crazy. So I think you're going to get slightly more points, Dimitri. You'll get 300 points.
Leave it at 3,000.
Not 2,000.
I thought
And
that
then
was going to
Guillaume
be
has to, we have to keep it relatively tight. So we'll give you 200 as well.
Oh,
So
So
much
it's
for my
close.
chicken leg.
For your chicken leg. There you go. All right.
is
Are you
really
guys ready
good,
for the next
Dimitri.
game?
Yes.
Awesome. So for the second game, this game is called Tell Me a Lie. So if you guys have ever played the game Two Truths and a Lie, this is basically the same game here. So this is two parts. The first part is I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write 3 facts about yourself on the red stickies that you see on the board. So essentially what I want you to do is write down 3 things that could all conceivably be true about yourself. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
After you write down your 3 things, what we're going to do is you're going to explain all 3 facts as if they were true. So you're just going to explain the story behind each thing that you write down. And after you explain, or after you give your explanation, I'm going to ask the other two contestants to try to guess which of the three is the lie. So if they get it right, then you lose points. And if they get it wrong, then you get points and they lose points. Does that make sense? So the point of this game is not only to obviously write down something that's true, or two things that are true and one thing that is false, but also to do a good job at selling the lie when you tell the story, such that anybody else can't understand what you're saying or can understand which one is incorrect. Make sense?
Makes sense.
So here's the other twist I didn't tell you. For this game, I'm going to play with you too. So not only will the other two people get to guess whether it's true or false, I'm going to get to guess whether it's true or false. And if you guess correctly, meaning if you guess the same thing that I guess and we're both correct, you get extra points on top of that. However, if I guess correctly and you don't, you lose extra points as well. So there's like an added flavor to this. Make sense?
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so we'll do the same thing we did last time. So I'll give you guys 3 minutes here. So go ahead and start now, and then we will talk about your facts about yourself in a second. So just write them in the stickies, please. And Mackenzie, you can double click the sticky itself, and it'll let you write in it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Why did I have to grab the sticky?
Are you having trouble with it?
Nah. It's fine, it feels.
Okay, you're about a minute and a half, so you still have some time to put these down. Are you having trouble, Guillaume?
No, not at all. I wanted to. So I'm a fan of poker. Doesn't mean that I'm good at poker, but I wanted to make sure I had my 3 facts before I was writing everything. So people cannot identify.
That's a good strategy. Nobody's ever tried that before. He's playing the game within the game.
Okay, and I'm ready. Sorry, I just read Dimitri's once. Love it.
Hold on, mate. Hold on.
Remember, one of them is not true, so...
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're all ready. Anybody else want to make any final changes?
Nope. Have a look.
Perfect. So that'll be time. So put your pencils down. Mackenzie, we'll start with you again. So
Okay,
as I mentioned,
amazing.
what I want to do is don't reveal which one is a lie, okay? I just want you to talk of all 3 of them as if they were all correct.
Yeah.
So tell us the story of each of your facts here.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll start with the one on the left. So when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a famous actress, like really bad. Like I was like fully going to be an actress when I grew up. And so I was doing all these plays and I was actually like part of an agency to like get roles. And so one of my biggest roles that I ever auditioned for was for Hannah Montana. And like my life was absolutely made. I was so nervous when I got into that audition room. Like I'd never been more nervous in my life. But it was amazing. It was a good way to like get out of my comfort zone because I really, really wanted it. Yeah. So obviously I didn't get it. Otherwise you probably wouldn't be chatting with me today, but it was a good experience. And my second one is bell peppers are my favorite vegetable. When I moved to Europe, bell peppers were like in everything, and I absolutely loved it. I love bell peppers and I love to cook with them. And then especially when they're cooked really, really well, in like any dish, like in burritos, or one time I got bell peppers in my sushi. So I was like, yes, that's like the best thing ever. I love bell peppers in my sushi. So that one. And then I once ate red fire ants and I thought they were delicious. I have family in Thailand and they're from like this like very small little rural town, and they like to go and like collect fire ants and eat them. And they're actually really tasty. So yeah.
Okay.
Wait, can we ask questions, David?
Yeah.
Or not?
So Guillaume and Dimitri, you each get one follow-up question each. So Guillaume.
Okay. How old were you when you auditioned for Hannah Montana?
I was 12.
Mate, you wasted your chance. So easy.
All right. Dimitri, you get one
I
follow-up.
don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay. How do you cook that fire ants?
So they have a big like wok, and then you just like fry them in like hot oil.
Oh, simple as that. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, is the second question. Sorry.
Okay. Perfect. No more follow-up questions. Actually, I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
So was Hannah Montana the only role that you ever auditioned for, or were there other Disney Channel shows that you auditioned for as well?
There were no other Disney Channel auditions that I auditioned for, unfortunately. I got lost a little steam after that one.
I'm sorry to hear that. You're basically Hannah Montana to me.
Thank you.
Not that-
Thank
not
you.
that,
Me
you
too.
know-
I still am bitter about it.
Not that Miley Cyrus didn't do a great job, but
Yeah,
I
she
think you would have been great. All right. So here's what we're going to do. You'll see me putting your names on top of the board here.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want you to do is each of you gets to vote for one. So as I mentioned, Dimitri, Guillaume, you guys both get a vote. So what I want you to do is move the sticky with your name on it to the one that you think is a lie. And again, as a reminder, if I vote correctly and you don't, you will lose points for this. So I'm going to guess that you auditioned for some other show just for the fun of it and because I want them to lose points. So, Mackenzie, which one is the lie here?
It's the bell peppers one. As I was saying it, I was like, like, 'cause I really hate that.
It was the reaction to the bell peppers as you were saying that, like you couldn't contain yourself.
No, I was like, when I got it in my sushi, I was like, why?
So you're very anti bell pepper then.
Yeah, but I didn't used to be. It wasn't until I moved to Europe, and then it was like in everything, and I can't like get away from it. It's always in everything. So yeah, the hate grew
Perfect. So
over time.
tell us about the Hannah Montana story. What's the context there?
Yeah. So, yeah, I really wanted to be an actress, and I was in all my school plays. I was like always in them, always auditioning. Like I think I was like like a head lead detective. I don't remember what other ones that I did actually, because it was like I was really, really young. But I knew I was going to be an actress. Like that was what I was going to be. And then I signed up for an agency, and then they were searching for Hannah Montana. So I was like, yes, I want to like go for this. Cause of course at that time we didn't know it was going to be this like huge show. It was just like, oh, it's a Disney Channel show. Like that sounds really fun. And I would be interested in that. So yeah, but I did lose steam after that because it was so nerve wracking. I was shaking during the entire thing. And then, after that, I was a bit like, okay, maybe I don't know if I can handle this.
Isn't it the best thing that you're so nervous and then when you go out on stage, it all goes away immediately?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe I don't really remember it really going away. I was like, that was a lot.
Well, I guess that probably explains how you got into content too in the end. So like
Exactly,
that drive never went away.
Exactly. Yeah, that was what I was going to say. Like it definitely led me to creating my YouTube channel and all of that other stuff. So in a way it was good. It motivated me in a different way.
Nice. And then the fire ants, I'm curious. So that story is true. Why haven't you eaten them since? Because it says you once ate fire ants and you thought they were delicious. So
Yeah. Mainly just like geographical. Like I'm not really like there at the farm very often. So if
Fair
I
enough.
were to go back, I probably would try them again. But they're also really hard to get because they only eat the queens. So they have to like go and find them, the queens, like the queen ants, and then collect them all. So it's not like easy to eat them. So it was very special. It was a special moment.
Okay. Well, there you go. So, unfortunately, Mackenzie, they did get your answer or correctly. So I have to take away a bit of points from you. So
That's
I'm going to
okay.
move you down to 150, which, as promised, means that both Dimitri and Guillaume will get points here. So you'll get 100 points each for guessing correctly.
Let's go.
Wow.
Again, don't get too confident because I can just take these away.
Fair enough.
All right. Oops. Sorry. Okay, Dimitri, let's go through yours. You know the drill.
Okay. So my first story, my hire cursed the client and was not fired. I will do my best not to make this story too long, but let me begin with one thing. Guys, I hope that you know I'm pretty tall. I'm actually 198 centimeters, only 2 centimeters shy of 2 meters. And I used to have a hire who was about 15 years younger than me on my team, and he was 1 centimeter lower than me. But he was huge. He was 4 times as me, like this. He was a huge guy. And one day, he was working as an administrator for an online bookstore back in the day. It was pretty new back then, loads of years ago. Anyway, once he was really, really tired sitting next to his laptop, and there was a client via an online chat asking some very stupid and obvious question. And he, as a new hire, didn't know how to answer. So he called me up. I came up to him and I was like, whoa. He said, look at her. Like, say, you know what? This is the way you talk to your clients. And of course, I wrote a curse phrase there. It said something in lines of, hello, Helen, would you kindly go to hell, And he was standing next to me and he was like, no, that's not the way to talk to the clients. He leaned to the keyboard. He wanted to press backspace, but his finger slipped and he pushed enter.
Oh, no.
And the client received this message immediately. And now, guys, imagine, I told you, he was pretty tall. He was huge. This huge body screaming. He started to run around in circles. Every single human being on his way bumped off his chest. And he was screaming so hard, I had to take him out of the office. There's still a very, very long story after that, but I think that's it. That's the first one.
So do they still work with you?
No. But back then, is it a question, David?
Yeah, that's the question.
Is it your follow-up question, David?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I got ahead of myself. Sorry, that was my follow-up question.
Those are your rules, but I can answer it.
No, fair enough. I broke my own rules. Let's go through the rest of them, and then I'll ask my follow-up again.
All right. We all know that we all write LinkedIn posts, correct? And about 2 or 3 months ago, I really don't remember, I had a pretty popular post. It boosted my visibility and it just blew up. It was, now I forgot. I think something like 5 things a divorce taught me about churn rate. And this is actually the reason why I wrote that post. I was married 4 times.
Okay.
That's my second story. Any questions, David?
No, sorry. Go ahead. Please finish your last one.
Not yet. Yeah, and the last one is the shortest one. I got hired for speaking English only. That's the story.
Okay. It's very succinct. So, Mackenzie, you go first. What's your follow-up question?
Yeah, I'm curious for the first one. What was the client's reaction? Like, I want to hear in detail. What did they say? What did they do?
That's why I told you that it's quite a long story, but I decided to cut it short. She called the office on the phone. I told you it was years and years ago. So she called the office and she asked for the boss of that bastard. And who was the boss? So I had to lift up the receiver. I had to literally lift up the receiver. It was ages ago. I've got a gray beard, guys. Just say, hello, what's up? How are you doing? Whatever. And she was like, you know what? You know what? Your teammate did this and that. And I was like, yeah. I'm well aware of the situation. I'm taking all the preventive measures for it in the future not to ever happen again. Could I offer you a discount at our bookstore to somehow soothe the pain? And it worked. And it didn't go anywhere else because I was indeed his boss. And that was the way that we sorted the situation. We were very, very lucky that the client was she was a young, and I prefer to think she was an understanding lady.
Okay. There you go. And Guillaume, you get a question as well.
What was the name of your 4 wives?
Of all of them,
Yeah.
Victoria, Maria, Olga, and Selena.
Good.
That's like a little too smooth there. Like, no.
It was very smooth.
Okay, so I guess I did use up my follow-up question. So,
It's okay, mate. Go on.
so when you say you got hired for speaking English only, you meant like you went to a job interview, and because of the fact you spoke only English, or sorry, you only spoke English, that they hired you, correct?
No, they hired me only because I spoke English.
I see. Okay. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. As we did last time, I'm gonna copy these stickies with your names on them, and then Mackenzie, I'll create you one. So give me 1 sec. Right. So you guys know the deal here. Draw your sticky to the fact that you think is a lie.
Guys, I had such a hard time to single out the stories because I only had to choose 3. I'm sorry, I had dozens.
A tough one.
Oh,
really
I thought you
Sounds
had
really
chosen, and that's why you're not moving your sticky.
No, I haven't chosen. I haven't chosen yet. I haven't moved my sticky. Oh, the thing is, okay, now do I go for the safety? And if we lose points, we all lose points? Or do I...
I guess, yeah, you're gonna have
The
to
thing
do it.
is, like there is one very simple and the 2 others are complicated. Like you can also see when someone lies, like they get into the details of the details of the details. And the very first one was very detailed.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Guillaume is probably the person that's thought the most about strategy of this game in the entire history of the show. Like literally,
Okay, you
the
know
only
what?
person that had actually played the game correctly is probably Guillaume.
But at the same time, this is so singular. I'm gonna go for this one. I feel risky.
Okay,
I
there we
feel
go.
taking risks.
Which one is the lie?
The lie is the one Guillaume has chosen. I wasn't married 4 times.
Ooh. I knew it. Those 4 names came out too smooth.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't
know.
that for me. For me, it was like, of all the ones, well, yeah, obviously, like you wanted time to think. So like, of all the ones, okay, then now I need to look smooth because I know the names of my wife. Like, oh yeah, it was that. That's what.
Yeah, but I do have that post, guys. And
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
So, okay, hold on. So you wrote a post where you said you were married for. Oh, I guess it was just sarcastic. I guess it makes sense now.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, there you go. So tell
Was
us
it
about
really
the
sarcastic? Oh, okay.
tell us about the hire story more in detail. Then
Which one?
the one for your hire cursing or your hire cursing out the client.
Sure.
Anything else there?
I think that it didn't go anywhere else, actually. I was his manager, but I wasn't the CEO or the vice director or whatever you call it of the company. No one ever knew it ever happened. And it took the poor bastard a couple of weeks to recover because he was very, very young. It was such a hard time for me because on the one hand, I could understand what he was feeling. On the other hand, you don't want to know, it was so funny.
Well, maybe he'll watch this on LinkedIn now and he'll be like, oh, I remember when that happened. Maybe he'll laugh at it.
We haven't talked for 10 years.
There you go. All right. So what's the story behind you getting hired for speaking English only?
Yeah, what does
That's
that mean?
that's a simple one. I was obviously hired in a non-English speaking country, and I was 22, fresh out of university, and I was looking for a job. And I went there. There was only a couple of companies who were ready to interview me. So I went into the office. There was a tiny lady who smiled at me, and she asked me. I only had one question. She said, "Do you speak English?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And she said,
You're
"Hired."
hired.
I was like,
Love it.
Okay, hooray! I don't know. I was only 22. It turned out to be a brilliant, proper first workplace for me, I think, because it lasts for 3.5 years. It was a brilliant office, but nobody spoke English there, and they desperately needed some kind of an English speaker. So I was pretty lucky, and I was very happy.
Very nice. All right.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Dimitri, I think because Mackenzie got it incorrect and then Guillaume got it right, I'm just going to keep your score flat because normally I would take away points, give you points. In this case, there's 1 and 1, so we won't do anything to your score. However, Mackenzie, you continue going backwards, unfortunately. There's
It's
still
just
room to
going
come back.
lower and lower.
And then
Don't
Guillaume,
worry. I'm sure there's going to be a twist. Do not worry at all.
well, there's definitely going to be a twist. Somebody's paying attention. All right, Guillaume, you get 100 points. So let's do the
Let's
final one.
go.
Oops, sorry. All right, Guillaume, your turn.
Yeah. So mine are very simple. I lived in 5 countries. US might be the 6th. And I speak 4 languages. So my mom is Spanish. I had a Spanish girlfriend during Erasmus. I live in Belgium for 3.5 years. I also fell in love with a Flemish lady, which got me to learn Flemish, Dutch, and French and English, obviously. I have perfect pitch. So my mom made all of my sisters and myself go to conservatory when we were, music school when we were very young. And we quickly found out that I had perfect pitch. I did 6 years in the music school, and then I was accepted into a high school that basically it's like professional sports players, except it was for music. So you do half your time in the school, half your time at the music school, and it's to become a music professionals basically. And the last one is I'm actually an introvert. I love going out. I love meeting with people, but I get my energy from being by myself, often playing video games.
Okay, Mackenzie, what's your follow-up?
Can you say a very complex sentence in Spanish?
¿Qué quieres me hablar? ¿Qué quieres me decir?
Thank you.
Okay.
That's not a
Dimitri?
complex sentence. That was like, what do you want me to say? But fair enough.
Okay, Dimitri, your turn.
When I saw I have perfect pitch, I was thinking about a pitch deck, but okay.
You wish.
not that kind of pitch.
All right. I think that I know the answer, so it's pretty hard for me to offer you a question.
You can skip your
Interesting.
question if you want. You don't have to ask a question.
No, I do. No, I do, David. I have an opportunity to ask him a question, and this is
Okay.
what I'm doing right now. What is the most complicated song that you could ever perform? But
That I could
Yeah.
what?
that you could perform. But mind you, it has to be a well-known song for us all to understand your pitch.
So to perform with the saxophone, you mean, or to sing, or to identify the sound of? Sorry, I need to ask the follow-up question. Which one?
All of the
Sing.
above.
Sing.
sing,
I don't.
consider.
I don't sing. I cannot sing. So there is no complicated song. I cannot sing the simplest music.
Okay.
So
Okay.
perfect pitch is you identify the sounds perfectly. Like you hear any sound and you know which note that is.
Of course, yes, I understand that. But there was a reason I asked you what kind of song you could sing.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Got it. So my follow-up question, Guillaume, is what is your favorite video game?
So I wouldn't call it my favorite one, but the one I played the most was League of Legends, which is the most toxic game ever, but also so addictive, and I was good at it. My
Clearly
favorite one my favorite one would be, I think, Guild Wars is the one I grew up with. It's an MMORPG.
Okay. So clearly somebody did not play Call of Duty as a child, because you said League of Legends was the most toxic game he's ever played. So
I did play Modern Warfare 2 a lot, but League of Legends is so much more toxic, man. There is this study that shows that the League of Legends players community has the highest IQ, and also among all games, and also is the most toxic. Like, it is not even a game.
no, there's a reason I don't play that game. So Mackenzie, Dimitri, you know the drill. Which
Okay.
one do you think is the lie here? Move your sticky to the one that you think is a lie.
I'm gonna go with you. What you guys said.
Yeah, I don't know that
Let's go.
explanation. I wasn't super buying it.
Yeah.
All right, Guillaume, which one
Yeah,
is incorrect?
you're all right. You're all right. I don't have perfect pitch.
Okay, so first off, Dimitri, let's hear from you. How did you know that it was incorrect? Because you asked a very pointed question about this.
Yeah, but this question, I told you I knew it from the start. That's why it was hard for me to ask a question, because I know that Guillaume speaks 4 languages, and I can also guess that he's an introvert, because
Interesting.
he's in podcasts, mate. He doesn't go on stage. He likes writing words online. Come on. Simple as that. Single out. I just singled it out. That's it.
Fair enough. So Guillaume, how did you learn those 4 languages? Was it just like through like just dating people, and then like just generally you learn things as you went along?
So, initially I wrote on my little paper, like before putting it there, I wrote, I speak 4 languages fluently, which would have been a lie. So I used to speak Dutch fluently, and I understand Spanish very, very well. But I cannot speak it, like I cannot have a very specific conversation. So I speak 4 languages in the sense that I understand them, and I can, get okay in any of the circumstances. So Spanish, the funny thing is, my mom didn't teach us Spanish, although she was from Spain. But in Erasmus, yes, indeed, I dated she would hate me if I say a Spanish girl, not a Catalan, oh my God, a Basque girl. But the easiest,
Oh my God.
or the mistake, she's never going to watch this, it's all right. And so I learned Spanish because Spanish is much easier to learn than Basque, obviously. And Dutch, so Dutch, it was for multiple reasons. So yes, I fell in love with a Flemish girl. At the same time, I understood that if I wanted to have a career in Belgium, I needed to be trilingual. Trilingual in the sense of Dutch, French, and English. So I was just like, screw it. It was during COVID. I was working at the bank back then, remote. I had automated everything. I hope they're not listening to this right now. And I was like literally working 2 hours a day, and I was done with everything. And it was COVID, so I was like, what do I do? Let's learn a language. Let's learn Dutch. That's the story behind it.
Okay. And then as a fellow introvert, what's the story there?
I mean, I don't know if there is a story. I'm very introvert, though I love being with people. So the reason I was very bad at my job, the first one, the poultry thing, is that I had 0 skills with people. I read a couple of books. The very first book I read, actually, the very first book was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The second one was How to Win Friends and Influence People from Dale Carnegie. Taught me a lot. And then I read all the books around communication and manipulation. Sounds bad, but in the sense of like, what do humans respond to? Got me much, much better, got me my next jobs. And that's also what I stand out with. I love to be around people, but when I actually regain energy, it's when I'm by myself. And I love to play video games. Unfortunately, video games don't pay the bill.
Well, maybe you should go into esports. Then they will.
That could have been an avenue indeed, but we'll never know. So do you play, David? Do you play video games?
Do I? Yes, I do.
Which ones?
So right now I am playing.
Oh my guys!
He's like, I'm leaving.
Oh, really?
I'm playing Hollow Knight right now.
Oh, interesting. Nice.
But anyways, these two don't want to hear about my video game background. Yeah. Let's give you your points here. So unfortunately, they both did get it right. So I'm going to have to take away a lot of points from you.
I know.
Sorry. And then Dimitri, you get a little bit of points here. And Mackenzie, you're back on the board. So back in second place, technically.
Ooh, thank God.
So are we ready for the final
Wait,
game?
how many points did I lose?
You lost
Oh my
200.
God.
You
Dimitri
guys
is
are
really
ready for the
ahead.
final game now.
Mackenzie, we need to team up.
Well, I didn't tell you for this final game that this game is worth the most points. So really, none of the points you've gotten so far matter. The winner is going to be whoever gets this one correct.
Okay.
So because this is a Halloween episode, what I wanted to do for this one is, one, call it Spooky Jump Stories. So you'll notice that there's a red sticky on the board. What I want you to do is in that red sticky that you see on the board, to write down the biggest lesson you've learned in your working career that you would want to share with either the audience of the show or just generally your audience. Like, what is the biggest thing that you learned about what you do that you always want to communicate to others? The trick is that I want you to explain that in the form of a spooky story. So a scary Halloween story, right? So it has to be something that scary, something in the form of like if we were in a campfire or around a campfire telling this story. Make sense? You'll notice that there's also empty space to the right of your red sticky. For this part, you can also bring in visual aids. So if you bring in pictures, you can bring in GIFs to tell your story, and you'll get scored points-wise, not only on the story around the lesson you've learned, but also on the visual aids that you bring in. Make sense? Just like Dimitri did. Perfect.
Oh.
It's a spooky story, guys. He's scared now.
You just have to take out the wow. He's not he's not wow anymore. He's just scared now. Maybe you flip the eyebrows so he's concerned. But does the activity make sense?
Yes.
So we can put any visuals we want.
Yes. If you want to bring in pictures from Google, you can copy paste things on the board. You can bring in GIFs if you want. Anything you want on the board is fair game for this one. But I want you to write down whatever you think the lesson is in the red sticky. So it has to be written down as well. Make sense?
Okay.
And we have 3 minutes. Okay.
You have 3 minutes. So go ahead. Actually, we're going to make it 2 minutes just because we have a hard stop and I want to make sure to give enough time for the explanations.
Shoot. Do we write the whole story in there, or do we just...
No, remember, so the right side is for visual aids. So if you have white space, maybe draw something, maybe bring in a picture from Google, maybe bring in a GIF or a meme. You can do whatever you want. Just make sure you fill up the white space.
But on the sticky notes, we can... we need to say it in a spooky way. Okay.
He is scared now. Okay, you have what, 20 seconds left?
David, could I ask you for a brief pause, please?
Okay, time is up. We will wait for Dimitri to return and then we'll start the presentation. Right, you
It was
good?
fast.
That was really fast.
Yeah, it was 2 minutes.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
I'll give you guys 10 more seconds here to finish up. Anything else you want to add? Okay, perfect. So for this one, the way we're going to score this is the scarier your story is, and the better of a job that you do at telling it in a scary way, the more points you're gonna get. So I'm grading you not only on the message of the story, but also in the presentation of it, I guess. So Mackenzie, you get to go first. Let's hear your story.
Okay. Mine's not scary at all. They're so friendly.
Very,
Ghosts.
they're Casper kind of ghosts.
They're
not...
Casper kind of ghosts, yeah, but that's okay. Okay, so my story is when we're little kids, right? We are always afraid of like ghosts and goblins like coming out and from under the bed or like in our closet or whatever. But ghosts and goblins don't care about like appearing to people just like randomly. Like they just like come out and they're just like, ah. And so we shouldn't care either. We should just like make ourselves appear like a ghost and a goblin. And then these guys are ghosts and they're like happy. They're like, yay, good job being a ghost.
And when you say make yourself
This is true.
appear, you mean just like be present, right? And be there, do things.
Yeah, like they don't care if they are like throwing things across the room or if they're like, I don't know, rustling through things or like climbing on your bed. Like they're just like, I'm just gonna do that and who cares? So that's my message.
Okay. Amazing. All right. Dimitri, your turn.
Okay. Do you like want it to sound like a proper scary story?
Absolutely.
Guys, bear with me. It's the first time in my life I participate in anything related to Halloween, honestly. So bear with me. In a galaxy far, far away, there was once a lady who was hired an administrator for a bookstore. You went there at 9 a.m. in the morning and started working. And only in 4 hours, she asked whether she would have a break. They said yes. She took her bag. She shut down the laptop. And she left. Never to be seen again. And it's
Oh my-
story really happened, guys. And it's
Shit.
because it's the sequel of the story of the previous game where my teammate cursed the client. This was the lady. Well, eventually he left in a couple of years after that one. And there was a lady who was hired instead of him. And this is exactly what happened. She came to her workplace. She spent half a day there. And then she said, I'm going to have a lunch. And we said, yeah, see you soon. But we never saw her again. In a couple of months, people found out that she was not happy with the job she was supposed to be doing. And she simply left and she didn't say a thing. So, the story boils down to, guys, the best lesson I have ever learned is, God damn it, talk to people.
I love it. I love the story too.
Thank you.
That was incredible. All right, Guillaume, your turn.
It's tough going after Dimitri.
Yeah,
I mean,
beat that.
imagine that.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's gonna be scary, but that's gonna be a reality check. So my lesson is walk. Is it okay if we curse a bit on this show, David, or is
That's
it?
fine. I'll bleep it.
Okay. Walk fucking hard. If you start your company, you need to know that you have close to zero chances. Literally. Like nobody is waiting for you. There are already very well established companies that it's winners take all, especially in today's economy. I don't have the exact numbers and I didn't have to check them up, but I think it's like around the 90% of startups fail within the first 3 years. And it's even higher than that if we take a decade. The average take-home business owner So the average business owner takes home $34,000 in the US after taxes. It's in this ballpark. I need to check the exact number. Like, you have close to zero chances. The picture I chose is David versus Goliath because it's literally it. Like, you are arriving in the market if you're starting a company when there are already big time people. Everybody has a competitive advantage, and it's very likely that you don't know anything. If you don't work fucking hard, you won't make it. And that's my lesson.
You know, as a business owner, I think that is pretty scary. So the fact that like so many businesses fail. So thank you for sharing that. I guess the other point there is, how does that play out for you, Guillaume? Is it like is that part of the reason why you moved here to the US, like to like kind of take that like lesson to heart, or like what's the story there of how that comes to life for you?
I think the best way to illustrate this concept is that when we started the company with the Sam, so we were in Belgium, right? And we're like, okay, we don't want to stay in Belgium necessarily. We want to be able to live in a cheap country, first of all, have sun, because Belgium is like 300 days of rain a year. And we had different choices, Bali, Portugal, Costa Rica. We settled on Portugal. And instead of going to a big city like Lisbon, we're like, okay, let's go to Ericeira, which is known to be a surf city, well, surf town. There is like the National Reserve of Surf Reserve, whatever. I don't remember the exact name. It's very close to Nazaré, where there are the biggest waves in the world. And we're like, okay, let's go there because we're going to be able to walk, surf, and it's a big digital nomad community over there. So we're going to be able to blend in and, we're going to have fun. In 6 months, we actually surfed 3 times. We bought everything. We bought the surfboard, we bought the sweatsuit and the wetsuit and so on. We went to a co-working space and we were working 12 hours a day. Like, we were so scared that our business wasn't going to take off that we were like, we need to work fucking hard. We thought it was going to be a blue ocean space. It actually isn't. Marketing agency, spoiler alert. And we were like, the day we realized this is we went to that co-working space. We arrived at 8 and it was closed because nobody was there yet. People started arriving at like 9, 10. And at like 2:30 p.m., someone receives a call in the co-working space, which goes like, hey, there are waves in Peninsula, which is one of the beaches there. Everybody closes their laptop, take their surfboard, and just goes off to surf. And with us, we were like, this is not even the middle of the day for us. We need to fucking find clients and we need to service clients. This is when we realized we weren't digital nomads. We weren't going to surf a lot, and we had to work fucking hard if we wanted to make it work. Mm-hmm. That's, I think, the best way to illustrate it. And now, 2 years later, it's working okay. We still work fucking hard. The reason I moved to the US is partly this, yes. There is just so much you can do remotely. I think it works. But if we want to take the next step, I think I need to be here physically, also just to get a better feel of the American culture. I see it in the calls right now when I'm like, where are you based? When I say South of France, oh, South of France is good, but like that takes away a bit of credibility. Oh, you're in Houston, cool, blah, blah, blah. And there is always a story coming up. So yeah, that's my lesson. Work fucking hard, which contrasts a bit with co-working cuties, Mackenzie, I know. But that's
okay.
That's my...
We need different perspectives.
Exactly. But that's my lesson, I'd say.
Perfect. Okay. So here's the final twist for the game show and for this particular activity. Instead of me grading you guys for this and giving you points, what I want you to do is for you to determine who the winner of this activity is. So each of you will get a vote, and whoever gets the most votes will both get a ton of points, like a ridiculous amount of points here, and will also likely win the game show. So, Guillaume, we'll start with you. Who do you think won this particular activity?
The impersonation of Star Wars mixed with a spooky Halloween vibe definitely makes Dimitri the best for me.
All right. Mackenzie?
I have to say the same. I was on the edge of my seat with that entire...
Well, Dimitri, it seems that you are the winner of both.
And you're not asking me who I'm giving the points.
Who are you giving the points to?
I'm giving the points to Mackenzie, of course.
Well, unfortunately, Mackenzie, that's still 2 versus 1. So, Dimitri, you do win. So I'm going to give you 1,000 points here. Congratulations.
Wow.
Machine.
And that also means you are the winner of the game show. So congratulations for that as well.
Yeah.
So
Congrats.
the way this works now is all of you will get a couple minutes to talk about something that you're currently working on. So this can be a project that you're working on for your work. People have also used this time to talk about things that they care about on a personal level. So each of you will get some time, and then Dimitri, you get to go last. You get slightly more time because you won the show. So Guillaume, we'll start with you. So you get a minute. What do you want to highlight to the audience?
Yeah, I mean, maybe something both professional and personal, and to make the link with Dmitri's lesson. Talking to people. Like since I arrived in the US, so I did 2 weeks in Miami. I'm about to wrap up a week in Houston, and I'm meeting clients that I've been working with for a year, 2 years, and meeting them in person, talking to them outside of a working environment it's immeasurable. It's invaluable. Invaluable. I'm not sure how we say in English. Like talk to people. They are say in person. I just had a guest on the show last week who was like, dude, today you can have such an advantage if you live in the US. So we're having this conversation. Like, take a flight. Pick a city that has like lots of connections to all the US. You take the first call with a potential client, and the second you're like, no, I'm coming to you. You're gonna pay $300 back and forth, right? So you need to be able to afford it, obviously. But like nobody goes in person anymore. Everything is remote, but the value that goes through when you meet in person, we see it with the in-person recording of podcasts as well. So something I'm experimenting right now, and that I really want to push is going and meeting people in person and talking to them in person, not only about work, is invaluable.
Amazing. Okay, Mackenzie.
That was so good, Kim. I was like thinking, yeah, so I think for me it's similar as well, tying into what you said, Guillaume and Dimitri. I think talking to people is so valuable, and that's something that I continue to do. And one thing with my work and with my clients is we really focus on impact and that kind of like ripple effect and butterfly effect. And the last client that I worked with, I really felt motivated to help her and make sure that she's like as successful as she can be, because she's giving like all these amazing impact to the world. So yeah, I would love to continue to talk to people and focus on that. And I guess in my personal life, probably like slow down a little bit because I've been traveling a lot, and I was just on a river cruise and I feel like I'm still recovering. So I'm hoping that like I get back home and I can just like sleep and relax a little bit. So yeah, that's me.
And did you want to talk about your community here, Mackenzie? Because I know you mentioned you wanted to give a shout out to Coworking Cutie. So
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, so my co-working community is this really like special space where you feel safe to show up online. And we have like a WhatsApp group, and I also have a Notion with a bunch of different like resources on LinkedIn specifically, although I would love to expand it. But it's a really amazing, cozy group where we can basically just be ourselves and cheer each other on. And we've seen a lot of success. I've had some cuties who are landing speaking gigs and new jobs and new clients, and they weren't posting at all. And then suddenly they're getting like inbound leads, just from showing up, and being in like a supportive group. So
Mhm.
it's really nice. You should join.
Amazing. Awesome. Dimitri, you're last but not least. Close us
Uh,
out.
I don't think that I'm gonna take up all of the time because, well, as the only human being here today that has never been to the USA, I didn't feel left out. So thank you for that, my friends. And thank you very much for noting my lesson of talking to people is one of the most important lessons. And you know that I'm one of the most introverted persons in the world. I absolutely detest events. I don't like loads of people around me, etc., etc. But talking to most of them and spending time with them and networking, or whatever you call it, has proven to be one of the most important things during the last several years of my life. And I'm a grown-up guy, so you live and learn every day. Talk to people and please take care of one another, because there are more good people than bad people around you.
I love it. Awesome. So on that note, Thank you all for coming on the show, Guillaume, Mackenzie, Dimitri. It's been wonderful. For everybody in the audience, if you want to learn how we build workshops like this, especially if you run a consultancy and particularly if you work in the data space or in the AI space and you want to learn how we build activities like this to, in a more professional setting, professional, quote unquote, build activities like this to help you both sell to clients and also to deliver your work and grow your company internally, please do reach out. Primarily thing that we focus at Superposition is in building experiences like this for driving a lot of conversations around business strategy as a consultancy. So if you want to learn more, go to our website at superpositionstrat.com or reach out to me on LinkedIn where this will be posted if you want to learn more. Also, if in the future you want to be on the show and you want to join us for the fun, we also are always taking new contestants, just like these three wonderful folks. You probably will not have to be in costume, but we do enjoy new people, so please do join us. Otherwise, thank you all for coming. It was a really wonderful time. Hope you have a wonderful Halloween, and we'll talk soon. So thank you guys.
See ya.
Thank you so
Thanks
much
for
for
having
having
us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.